Yeah. Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are back. I am so sorry about the last couple of nights. We've had some chaos and craziness going on. Number one, as I told you all, I think on Sunday, been in just a little bit of a funk. Kind of just have been really tired. Kind of right at the beginning of Sunday going into Monday, was maybe a little afraid that I might have been getting COVID. I didn't have any kind of cough or any kind of congestion or anything, but I just felt really tired, kind of ran down, and was dealing with all of that. So that is what it is. But I was able to get some sleep, and that did me very well. I was able to get some sleep Sunday night into Monday, did some work on Monday, and then were we live on Monday? I think we were live Monday, or maybe we weren't live Monday, but then last night we actually had some really bizarre things going on with the place. We had some really strange things going on with my technology. So I had been in Facebook jail for a number of days. And then after the Facebook jail, last night my technology just was not working and I couldn't get things going. So I had Kate and I had to really go through a really bizarre way of getting a hold of Kate to let Kate know. So we are back. And yes, as Cindy said, I did not find myself suicided in a ditch or anything like that. So thank God everything went off without a hitch. Everything's going well. Things are going good. I'm just trying to check and see here. We've got a couple things I'm trying to get sorted here really quickly. Give me 1 second. Things were going so well tonight. I was working on several different things. And I was like, hey, I've got plenty of time. And as always happens, time got away from me. Oh, there we go. I'm needing to put one more character in here, and we'll get that done. Yes, as you saw all of those buttons over on the side, if you're on YouTube, do the YouTube thing. I would appreciate it. That would be fantastic. Besides all of that stuff, share the show with everyone you know, no matter where you're at. That is always helpful. And from there, we will do the show. So the last couple of days, part of the funk kind of was we're just in the hurry up and wait period. I really didn't know what I could focus on, and I'm really getting this big urge. I've talked to my long time listeners will know that for a very long time, I have talked about the desire to cover more national coverage, more national type politics. And that's double-edged sword. It's a blessing and a curse. It would open us up to larger audiences, and more people would be more inclined to listen. But then it would also kind of, hurt me with people who listen for the local coverage. So as I was talking to Kate a little bit before the show started, I said that, maybe we could do I could talk about national one night a week. We could make it that could be the Wednesday night show could be national coverage, and the rest of the week I could do local or whatever. So, just as it would been, we'll see what goes on as we get through this election, this May election. Once we get through the primary and we get into the summer months and then we get into the fall, good Lord, I don't even want to be talking about the summer and or the fall. Let's take it slowly. But when we get into the summer and we get into the fall, we will be talking a little bit more about national and covering what's going on, because obviously we have a big presidential election upon us, and that needs to be covered. And Stumblefoot, that is a pretty good idea. Maybe I could do it like in segments. I could have a segment. So each night I could cover something that happens for 30 minutes or so, and then that's a pretty good idea. I'm going to start looking around, and I am finally, it finally struck me. And a lot of people say, you're finally going to get a haircut one of these days, but I am going to start working on this madness behind me, and I'm going to do something to kind of get us into a little bit of a set ambiance here. We're going to try to get professional here coming up here, so we'll see what happens. So I could do segments if I wouldn't be able to really do time segments so much, or what I could do is I could do a recorded piece where I did a recorded segment where I would do the live episode and then play the 15 or 20 minute recorded section and then come back into it. We'll see what happens. That's all stuff for the future. Okay. So now we need to focus on what we've got going on here at home, because we have a lot going on, ladies and gentlemen. I've got to tell you, every night when we do these, I like to read the kind of the description of the show that I put together. And for about the last week, we haven't had these. So tonight, I actually have a big agenda. And so we're going to read this, and that will give you guys a good understanding of where we are going with the show. So let me get down here to my notes. We are out of Facebook jail, and the technology is working. And guess what? Government officials are still acting insane. Woohoo! Who would have thought? So we are back. We're only 3 months into the new year and the new term in a lot of cases when you're talking about city government. And amazingly, everything everywhere is pretty much back to how it's always been. It's like nothing changed. All of the good and amazing things that we were promised in last year's election cycle by all of those people that were running for mayor and all of those people that were running for council, city council, and the mayor's office. Everything that was happening there, as Charlize, everything that was happening there, it's all went to the wayside. It's like none of that was anything. We're all back to where we started with. Amazing. That said, the political spotlight is working to get to the bottom of all of it, to be able to give you, the audience, the masses, the information needed to help fight for better government on all levels, everywhere. The agenda for tonight, and I'm going to give the agenda in the order that I have it written, but I see that we have one request for a change, and we might be able to accommodate that change. But I'm going to give you the agenda in how I have it written up. Muncie, Indiana, we're going to focus on the crisis center, which still seems to be in crisis, and it's still costing lots and lots of money. How much money? Well, $64,424.50 more than the large amount that we've all been told. That went through the Board of Works today without question earlier today. So we're going to talk Ridenour and his nearly $9 million dream firehouse is still a topic of conversation. And of course, the citizens of Muncie have still not been permitted to hear the answers to their questions in the second committee meeting that everybody has been waiting on since October of 2023. And hell, that doesn't even include any of the mayor's other costly endeavors. So, of course, we're going to be talking about that. And then we're going to be talking about why so many of the Muncie city councilors are still playing so hard to get. So many of them are playing, hey, we were not going to contact you, and that's the way it's going to be. So we're going to be talking about that. Then moving on from there, we're going to be focusing on Winchester and Randolph County. Duly elected city councilor Lisa Friend Teal, she refuses to attend a council meeting. This is just what everyone said would happen last year during the election. And now here we are. So what is going to be done here? Seriously, it's time for something to happen. From there, we're going to move on to the Winchester Street Superintendent. We're going to talk about him. Sadly, addiction and dependence to drugs and alcohol is something that affects lots and lots of people. It doesn't matter what your job is, what color of skin you are, what sex you are, who your parents were, who your children are, anything like that. It can affect everybody. And so I am very understanding of folks that have drug and alcohol issues. And I understand that it is a serious situation. That being said, there is an obligation to the taxpayers that the city has, and this is something that has been an issue. So we're going to be talking about the fact that the street superintendent, the department head over there, who was just picked up on an OWI, allegedly while driving a city vehicle, which is a major, major issue. So we're going to be talking about that, and we're going to be looking at what could possibly be done there. Moving on from there, we're also going to be talking about what in the world is going on in Winchester and Randolph County. With seriously, like, all joking aside, because this is just something that you really cannot joke about. There is a major issue going on over there with sex offenders. Something is happening, and we as a community, as an area of the world here in East Central Indiana, we need to be looking about what's happening over there. And then, of course, we will give a little bit of an update or a lack thereof on Kimbrell and Galligan. Henry County, tonight we're going to cover the Newcastle Henry County newspaper coverage of the insurance crisis. And then I watched a little bit of the Boss Hogs of Liberty show tonight. They talked with commissioner candidates, incumbent Bobby Plummer and challenger Susan Hoon. I don't have on the agenda, because it happened after I put the agenda together. There was a council meeting in Henry County tonight. I don't know why. I don't know what this council meeting was for, because it's not when they normally have their council meetings. They held a council meeting, and Susan actually wore her campaign shirt while on the clock as counselor, and it was just very tacky. That's not done. And there's normally like some rules that set kind of what goes on with that, the decorum of the council. So we'll talk about that. And then some other rumblings going on in Henry County. And then we will end off with the state of Indiana, the public access counselor. I spoke with Luke Britt today. Luke Britt, of course, is the public access counselor in the state of Indiana. He is being affected by House Bill 1338. And I want to find out what he's got to say about it, because he was pushing this bill back when the House was first jamming this through. And then now we find out, hey, wait a minute. Oh, wait, what? This sucks. He's really now screwed by this very same bill. So that is what we're going to talk about. We do have a viewer here that is a pretty good friend of the show, someone that we care about, and he's been in a little bit of health concern. He's had some health issues, been in and out of the hospital. I think they're getting him straightened out, but he's apparently on some medication, and he asks us to take the agenda, a topic out of order. And I really wasn't going to do this, but for Jeff, we will do it. So instead of talking about Muncie first, we will first kick into Henry County. And I just want to tell you guys, so obviously we've been covering the Henry County issue with the insurance crisis for some time now. Well, Travelers Insurance, as you see here on the screen, they dropped the county, at least in a good chunk of their coverage, due to a change in risk management from the sheriff's department. And what absolutely blows my mind, okay, is the fact that the Courier-Times covers this today for the first time. For the first time today, they covered this. And it's really quite shocking because of the fact that, hold up. See if I can get this pulled up here. You know what? It's not going to give me. I've looked at it too many times. Kate, can you try to pull the Courier-Times up on your side and see if it'll give you? I don't have a subscription to the Courier-Times. I used to, and finally I said, they're even worse than the Star Press, so I'm going to be done. They waited till the story was over to break the story, to break the story, but then they didn't even break it. They covered it in a very piss poor way. It was very misleading or only halfway done. It was just really strange what they were doing. And I can't. Looks like she gave me the thumbs up. She might. Here we go. The Curious Times. Yes, absolutely. County facing 10. And as soon as we can get rid of this nonsense. Oh, I see. You see the X up there? Yeah, there you go. County facing 10 tort claims. Sheriff named in 4. Claims range from property damage to civil rights violations. Insurance provider Travelers canceled part of the Henry County liability protection this month, citing a substantial change in risk management at the Henry County Sheriff's Office. Of course, we've all known that for quite some time. Yours truly broke that way back 3 months ago. Travelers Insurance received 10 claims in 2023 relating to the actions allegedly taken by the Henry County Sheriff's Department. The Sheriff's Department was named in 4 claims in 2022. In Indiana, anyone who wants to pursue legal action against a government agency must notify the government of the pending claim. This is called a tort claim. The Henry County government as a whole is currently named in 10 active tort claims. That's honestly not true. There's more than that. Because Well, it's more than that, Jeff, because let me tell you why. Claim 1. March 16th, 2023, Newcastle resident Sierra St. John filed a notice of claim to the Henry County Commissioners and Henry County Parks Department regarding injury St. John reportedly sustained on October 14th. Okay, that's not a sheriff's department issue, so we're going to go on from there. Claim 2, but that is a claim nonetheless. Claim 2, March 18th, my mother's birthday, 2023, Frontier Facilities filed a notice of claim to the Henry County Commissioners alleging that an employee or agents of the Henry County were installing a culvert in Stony Creek Township and damaged a Frontier cable. Okay, that is also a claim, but it is not a sheriff's department claim, and that's a normal claim. So on to claim 3. May 11th, 2023, Andre Lovell filed a claim naming the Henry County Commissioner, Wayne Township Trustee, Knightstown, Wayne Township Fire Department, the Henry County Highway Department, and the Indiana Department of Transportation regarding an April 18th, 2023 vehicle accident. According to claim, Lovell's vehicle was struck by a volunteer firefighter, Again, that's an active claim, and it is a serious claim, but it's not a sheriff's department claim. Moving on, claim 4, July 9th, 2023, Dustin Sidwell filed a tort claim with the Henry County Commissioners accusing the Henry County Jail staff of violating his rights and using excessive force from April 1st to the 3rd, 2023. Aha. All right, here's a claim. It was in 2023. That means it is, in fact, Sproles was sheriff. Okay, so claim 4 is the first thing against the Henry County Sheriff's Department. Okay. Let's see here. Sidwell seeking $700,000 due to physical and psychological damages. Sidwell refiled his tort claim notice with the Henry County Clerk of Courts on August 3rd. Okay. So that is there, and that's 1. All right. Claim number 5. On July 12th, 2023, Tanner Davis filed a tort claim notice with the Henry County, naming the Henry County Commissioners, the Henry County Highway Department, the City of Newcastle, Newcastle Street Department, Indiana Department of Correction or Transportation. According to the claim, Davis was involved in a vehicle accident on Brooks Drive. Again, this is not a claim against the Sheriff's Department, but it is against the county. Serious all the same. Claim 6, on July 25th, David and Holly Balmer filed a notice against the Henry County Commissioner's Office, Town of Knightstown, regarding a water main break. Okay, again, that's not what the Sheriff's Department is. Claim 7, on September 23rd, 2023, Roger Winston. Okay, this is our second one, and this is Claim 7. And we all know the name Roger Winston. We interviewed him. Roger Winston filed a tort claims notice with the Henry County Commissioners, Henry County Council, Henry County Sheriff John Sproles, Town of Shirley, the Shirley Police Department, Newcastle Mayor Greg York, Newcastle City Council, and the Newcastle Police Chief Matt Schofield. According to the complaint, Winston was driving a bus on Interstate 70 on June 11th, 2023, and the bus broke down. The passengers were 9 and 17-year-old competitive dancer crew members and parent chaperones. According to the claim, Shirley police officer checked on Winston and the passengers. After the Shirley officer left, the County Sheriff John Sproles responded to the scene and asked for additional deputies to respond to the scene as well. Winston's tort claim alleges that Sproles and the Henry County deputies racially profiled, discriminated, and harassed Winston because he's black. Winston is seeking an unknown amount of damage for pain and suffering and other damages allowed under the Indiana law. Okay, so that we know what happened there. All right, we know that happened there. All right, Claim 8. September 22nd, 2023, Elvante Riddick filed a tort claim notice with the Henry County Sheriff, Henry County Commissioner, Council, the Sheriff's Office, John Sproles, Newcastle Mayor Greg York, Newcastle City Council, Newcastle Police Department, Chief Matt Schofield. We know, of course, who Riddick is. Riddick's claims in retaliation to a traffic stop that Sheriff Sproles conducted on July 2nd, 2023. According to the tort claim notice, Sproles was off duty wearing a basketball shorts and a T-shirt. Sproles had the vehicle towed. Riddick alleges that Sproles racially profiled him, discriminated, and harassed Riddick because he is black. Riddick is seeking an unknown amount of damages for pain and suffering and all other damages allowed under the Indiana law. And let me tell you, I believe that Riddick at least has more information to tie into that suit, or very seriously and quite possibly, Riddick has a whole other claim against them, and it might be a whole other new suit. So this might be another one, or it might be tied together. I don't know. Moving on from there, now to the next. Let's see here. Okay, this is the claim 9 on October 19th. Roger Humphreys. We know who Roger Humphreys is. So this is 9, and this is now the third claim. Roger Humphreys filed a tort claim notice with the Henry County Commissioner's Office, the council, the sheriff, the town of Shirley Police Department, Newcastle, and all of the other people that's been involved. Humphreys was a Shirley Police Department officer who responded on June 11th to the disabled bus on Interstate 70. The tort claim notice says Humphreys accuses Sheriff Sproles of contacting the Shirley Police Department, multiple members of the town council, which we all know that because we listened to all of the evidence. I showed you all of the evidence, and we listened to the phone calls. All right. That the sheriff was complaining and disparaging Humphreys. The claim asserts that Sproles' actions were because Humphreys and the passengers of the bus are black. And Sproles basically said that. The claim notices and alleges that Sheriff Sproles is attempting to disrupt Officer Humphreys' employment by spreading false narratives, wild theories, and false statements about what happened on June 11th. It is clear that Sheriff Sproles is trying to get ahead of and spin the narrative of what is obviously a pattern of racially motivated actions against Officer Roger Humphreys. The citizen of Henry County, other law enforcement officers, and anyone else who questions his leadership, his tactics, his rhetoric, and his authority. Humphreys demands Sproles to cease and desist from making any and all future demeaning, defamatory statements against Humphreys. Humphreys stated he would accept $100,000 for the injuries and other losses that he was directly and proximately caused by Sheriff Sproles and his actions. Okay, that's fantastic. Claim 10. On October 11th, 2023, Marquette Neal filed a tort claim notice. Okay, so this is 10, and this is number 4. Okay. No, that's number 5. Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, that is 4. It is 4. 4 there. Marquette Neal gave notice to everyone. The tort claim notice is related to a July 6, 2023 incident at Henry County Jail where Neal was an inmate. According to the notice, Neal filed a grievance on June 19th, 2023 about the racially charged environment and the influence it has on Caucasian inmates to commit hate crimes against African-American inmates in the Henry County Jail. Neal is black. His grievance was related to corrections officers' alleged comments about Juneteenth. Neal claims the grievance was ignored and he became frustrated. Okay, so now we are finding out why he was upset. So Neal was upset because he was claiming that there was some racially motivated things occurring in the jail. No way. I believe it. Okay, I think it's fantastic. Security footage shows Neal kicking a metal door from inside the cell. Footage also shows Sheriff Sproles arrive on the scene with a shotgun that deploys non-lethal beanbags. Sheriff Sproles fired multiple beanbags at Neal, causing injuries to the back of Neal's legs. Neal is seeking an unknown amount of damages for pain and suffering and all other damages allowed under Indiana law. That's the end. What kind of article is this? Can you scroll all the way to the top real quick? I want to read Travis Week's own words here, okay? Insurance provider Travelers canceled part of Henry County's liability protection this month, citing a substantial change in risk management at the Henry County Sheriff's Office. Travelers Insurance received 10 claims in 2023 related to actions allegedly taken by the Henry County Sheriff's Department. The Sheriff's Department was named in 4 claims in 2022. So my question is, because let me tell you, I myself have heard, absolutely have heard, that there are more than 4 lawsuits filed against Sheriff Sproles. Mine is one of them. Stacy Smith is one of them. All right, that's 2 right there. So if you add those 2, that's now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 6. All right. So, and then there's 10 that we see here. And of those 10, there's 4. So this doesn't make sense because they get to the bottom of the 10th claim and they shut off. They stop. So today you can take that down. Thank you very much, Kate. Thank you for that. So today, after I read this article, I went to my email and I sent Mr. Travis Week, the managing editor of the paper, an email. And in my email, I said, county facing 10 tort claims, sheriff named in 4. Amazing. I feel this article was misleading or missing information. Will you be following this story up or completing it? You seem to have left out at least the following 2 suits. And I sent my lawsuit and I sent Stacy's lawsuit. To which Travis sent the following message back to me. All right. Stand by. I want to give you the information that he sent back to me. I got to try to get here. The first thing he says was, Christopher, we have reported on your lawsuit against the sheriff and will continue to do so as it progresses. In terms of the tort claim notices, yours was not included in the information I was provided. If you can send me a copy of your tort claim notice, I will include it in the update about your case. Well, listen, if the story is about why Travelers is leaving Henry County, parting ways with Henry County, then why would you not include everything together? Jeff, let me make sure I'm saying the name right. I might have fouled up her name. Give me 1 second. Stacy Smith. Stacy Smith is the lady that is suing Henry County for being tortured there. You might have been. Did we talk about this? Or you might have been MIA when we covered this. If so, remind me to send you those episodes. There was serious allegations of torture on behalf of the Henry County Sheriff's Department, the jail, corrections officers, and she's filed a lawsuit through the ACLU. The ACLU's filed on her behalf. And so, we would be 6 and 7 at least. And okay, very good. So, all right. So you know who it is. You just didn't know the name. All right. Check. That's just the tort claims, not all the ones that have gone past the tort stage to full lawsuit, which I guess that's possible. But again, that's why I said that it looks like it looks as if, once again, the Courier-Times is trying to soften the blow against the sheriff. It's really, really bad. It's really bad. Oh no. The deal with Miss Smith was from last year. So it definitely was last year. And it will definitely be covered under one of the reasons why Travelers is leaving. You're exactly right, Charlize. Piecemeal reporting de-emphasized the scope and gravity of what has happened. Absolutely. And for the love of God, I can only assume that, well, let's be honest. When you have a council meeting or a commissioners meeting, let me go on here and look. When you have a Henry County, Indiana commissioners meeting or a council meeting, and you only have 3 people watch, 22 people watch. Today there was a council meeting and 23 people watched it. 36 people watched the work session from 3 months ago. Let me go to last week. Last week, last week 120 people watched. From the commissioners meeting on the 2nd of February, 53 people watched. From the planning commission, 67 people watched. Henry County Council meeting on the 14th of February, 88 people watched. All right. We've got to wake people up in Henry County. We have got to wake people up because the Courier-Times isn't going to do it. And let me tell you all this. Let you all in on another little thing. Let me let you hear this. Okay? Watch this. Watch this masterpiece. Hey, Brandon. So, I was actually a little surprised. I was excited tonight because the Boss Hogs of Liberty actually was going to have Susan Hoon and Bobby Plummer on. Now, I think it's way early in the election cycle. They should have been having these people on towards the end of April. But I want you guys to listen to this, all right? This is at full volume. Here we go.
Unfortunately, that is coming back to us, but I think we have a plan.
It went so well, you get to sell it a second time.
It went so well, we get to sell it a second time. We've got the Walmart Outlaw is on the market right now as well. So, liquidating buildings at the same time that,
it's damn quiet.
We all know how county governments and budgets work. And look, the amount of money that we've spent on just maintenance on the current buildings is astronomical.
I don't understand what these dudes are doing with their sound equipment. Please, for the love of God, fix the sound.
Building at Walmart.
So let me tell you, 11 people watched this debate. 11 people watched it. 1 person watched it on YouTube. Their reach is nothing. They're not getting a reach with these people. We've got to get a reach with these people. But let me tell you, they talked about the insurance issue. They talked about the deal with they didn't bring up the issue. They didn't bring up the issue of the sheriff's department being adversarial to everyone in the county at all. And they only talked about the insurance issue for maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes, if that. It seems as if all of the media, any kind of media in Henry County is sleeping. They're doing one of two things. They are either sleeping on the seriousness of what's going on with the sheriff's department, or they're in bed sleeping with the sheriff on this. One of two things. They're either protecting Sproles or they have their heads up their ass. It's time to wake people up, folks. You have a serious deal here. You have a serious election, Henry County. Let me tell you, you've got Bobby Plummer. And let me tell you this. I have battled and battled and battled Bobby Plummer. I have battled and battled and battled Susan Hoon. After 6 months, Bobby Plummer got it together. Bobby Plummer started doing right. She told me one time, I don't want to make a mistake with an open door meeting again. I'm never going to make that mistake again. I called her on it once and I filed a complaint, and the complaint came back. The public access counselor came back in my favor, and she learned from that mistake. And she told me I don't ever want to make that mistake again. She has been an excellent commissioner. However, Susan Hoon doesn't like a damn thing that I say, won't take anything that I say to heart, doesn't understand I'm trying to help make things better, and she just looks the other way. Matter of fact, if I tell her to turn left, she turns right. If I tell her to vote yes, she would vote no. She is absolutely a problem. And the person on the left, Susan Hoon, is a plant for John Sproles. And if you, Henry County, if you screw up and you put Susan in the commissioner's office over Bobby, that's all she wrote. He doesn't need 2 candidates to win this year. He just needs one of them. He just needs one of them because he's already got Joe Wiley, the sleeper. All right? Period. So if Susan wins over Bobby, Henry County, you're screwed. Bobby Plummer has to win. Steve Dellinger has to win. If Steve Dellinger loses, Henry County is in trouble. So I'm telling you, Henry County, I told you this about Sproles. You didn't listen. Now look where you are. You got the Boss Hogs of Liberty are doing anything they can to help Sproles. You got Travis Week doing anything he can do to help Sproles. They don't care. They're not going to say anything bad. We want to be friends with everybody. That's not who we are. We're not loud. We don't get mad. We talk about ketchup and racing. You know, we're friends with the nerds. We go play at the comic book. Travis Week does all that stuff. I'm not here to make friends. I had some friends in high school, and they were all stoners and didn't get me very far. So I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to tell you how it is and to be real and to be right up front and blunt. I called that radio station today and they put me on hold, and then by the time they picked up, the segment was over and they said, "Oh, he's gone." Catherine, by the way. So that's going on. That's what's going on. The other thing, and I want to let you guys know this. I want to show you guys this before we move on from Henry County. I want to show you something that happened. Henry County, you can't play around with people that don't want to follow the rules. Okay? You can't, you've got too much craziness going on with Sproles. You don't have enough money to play around with someone who's not willing to follow the law and to do the right thing. And let me show you how much people don't care. We don't care about what goes on. We're going to do what we want to do. We're going to do what we want to do. I'm going to show you what that looks like. I'm going to show you. Let me go back and show you this real quick. And it might be hard to see. Can anybody tell what Miss Plummer's shirt is? Can anybody tell me what not Plummer, Miss Hoon, excuse me. Can anyone see Miss Hoon on the left? She's got a coat on, but she's got a shirt. Can you tell what's under that shirt? It's kind of hard to tell, I know. Can anybody take a guess? If you look at it real closely, it looks like it's a gray shirt. It's got some red. It's got some blue. I see it looks like a big H. And keep in mind her name is Susan Hoon. Ah, Kate got it. Kate's smart. It's a campaign shirt. It is a campaign shirt. Okay, it says vote for Susan Hoon. Something like that. All right. This is an appropriate I'm with stupid Sproles campaign shirt. I love it. Woo. Oh, God. Okay, so Susan is wearing a campaign shirt. This would be an appropriate place for her to have a campaign shirt on. She's on the Boss Hogs of Liberty. Put a campaign shirt on. No issue. All power to you. Great. All right. Let me show you a place that it's probably not appropriate to have that campaign shirt. You know, when you go in and you go to the polls, you can't wear a shirt into the election area. All right. Now, as a citizen, you can wear whatever you want into any meeting or whatever. They can't do anything to you. But as the elected official who is sitting as a duly elected official, you cannot wear campaign material into the county building to conduct your business. So what we see here is we see Mrs. Hoon, sitting in her seat here. Here she's sitting in her seat, vice president of the county council. Here she's standing, and here it is. And I can clear as day. This is muddy. I understand, but I can clearly as day see that says HUHN. Now, if it says, come to Hoon Diner, no problem. But I'm telling you, if that shirt says elect Susan Hoon, elect Hoon for commissioner, she's in the wrong. Now, I sent both her and the president a text message during the meeting, and I said, Vice President Hoon is wearing an election shirt, and that is not allowed, and it needs to be dealt with immediately. I have not received anything back, but I'm going to be watching this. She knows better. She knows better. Jerry. I didn't get that close, thank God. I'm just seeing what I'm seeing from screen here. But I just look, I'm going to tell you right now, with the sheriff doing the things that he's doing, you don't have time as a county to play around with anybody doing nonsense. On the Boss Hogs of Liberty show today, they were talking about how they could take care of the insurance issue, and I said handcuff Sproles to a desk in his office for the next 2 years. That would be one way. And then I also told Mrs. Hoon that the Boss Hogs of Liberty set was an appropriate place to wear her campaign shirt. Meanwhile, the council meeting was not. So, not a good thing, just FYI. All right. So that is our Henry County news. I am still waiting on 2 or 3 record requests from Henry County. And when those record requests come, they will be big. I can guarantee you. So I am still waiting on that. And I will let you guys know as soon as that comes. I also, I keep getting a lot of people asking me and wanting me to talk about an incident that occurred here last week. That is it's a very touchy, very sad and horrible and bad situation. And it deals with a criminal investigation, and then after the criminal investigation came to light, it then deals with a suicide. And here's my deal. I cover politics. And while I know that there's a lot of, what's the Don Healy song says, it's interesting when people die, give us dirty laundry. While I understand that there's a lot of oohs and ahs when it comes to things like this, I can't talk about it. I can't bring myself to talk about it because there are people involved that are not at fault here in any way. There are people involved that no matter what has happened, they have lost a loved one. There are victims involved. And so I just can't do it. If there are some rumors that tie it back a little bit to the sheriff's department, if something comes out that is legitimately something that ties back to the sheriff's department, I will cover it in a second. But I will talk to people off the record about things, but I just can't do it at this point because I can't do it at this point because I don't have enough information. And one of the things that I don't know is what Joe Tompkins has asked. Was the investigation over? And at this point, I don't know that information. So I'm still working to gather information on it, and I'm going to dig into it. And if anyone has information, legitimate information, not scuttlebutt, not rumors, feel free to call me. Hell, I guess even if it's rumors, call me or text me or message me. I don't mind to kind of talk behind the scenes, but I'm not going to publish anything about it until I have more hard information. And if it turns out that nothing ties back in any way to anything political or anything to the sheriff's department or wrongdoing in any way that way, I probably will never talk about it. Just FYI. But that doesn't mean I won't talk to folks behind the scenes. I won't talk about it on the show. Okay. Sorry to disappoint. From there, moving on, I want to now go to the Muncie Crisis Center and what's going on in Muncie. Kate, do you remember how much Fredericks got the contract for. Good night, Jeff. Take care. Be safe.
The contract to do this thing,
Yeah.
wasn't it like?
Zoe, come
Oh
on,
God, I
girl.
don't remember.
Lay down.
Was it 400,000? No, it was like 280 something, wasn't it?
I thought it was 650.
I can't remember, Christopher. I'm sorry. There's so many numbers all the time.
No, you're fine. I know where I think I can look. Stay here for 1 second. Let me look back because I think that I sent it to Jackie McCord, and I am going to look back in my messages to her because I think it would be easiest to find it from her. I'm back to November. Okay, I'm back to October. Yeah, here we are. Okay, so oh no. Okay. Let me try one more thing here really briefly. I'm gonna type in I know I did it on the show here. Type in contract for no.
David Williams is here saying that the high bid was 878,000.
I think so. I think that's right, and I think the Fredericks low bid was 650.
Okay.
Crisis Center. Let me look here 1 second. If I think I can find it here. I'm pretty sure I had pictures of it. Okay, yeah, let's see here. That was November. Okay. Okay, so it looks like right here. Look, I bet it's right here. Oh, yes. I was just thinking about that. Okay, let me see here. U.S. Architects. Record requests. And this is okay, so it looks as if yeah, I don't think I've got it. So I'm going to say I will look this up tomorrow, but I want to say it's between the bid on this was damn it. Okay, I knew I should have had it, but I don't. The bid is between $650 and $800. Okay. And it was Fredericks that got the it did not. Okay, that's the thing. It did not include the foundation. So let's watch this Board of Works while we're watching the Muncie Board of Works, I will look a little bit further and see what I've got here. Give me 1 second. Let me pull up this Muncie Board of Works here. We will watch this Board of Works, and it's important that you guys listen very carefully at the beginning, because it doesn't last long. They go through it, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, and it's done and back. Okay, here we go. Let's listen to this.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning and welcome to a spring-like day, all right? If we could have roll call, please.
Ted Baker.
Present.
Clover.
Present.
Linda Gregory.
Present.
We have been presented with the register of claims. If Mr. Oh, I'm sorry. Consideration of the minutes from March 6th. I marked it off too soon. Sorry.
You're ready to go. I move approval of the March 6 minutes as presented.
Second.
Okay, any comments or questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That was just to keep everyone on their toes.
Yeah.
Okay, that
Good
was
job,
good.
good
Good job, yeah. So now we have the consideration of the register of claims by City Controller Craig Wright.
Christopher,
Good
Yep.
morning.
check the messages.
Just a couple things.
I found the
to make
minutes.
note on of the
Okay.
email I had sent out yesterday. We did have $64,424.50 to Frederick's for the Crisis Center.
Hear that? We're going to listen to it again.
Just a couple things to make note on of the email I had sent out yesterday. We did have $64,424.50 to Frederick's for the Crisis Center on the work being done on that. Wax Bank police fuel charges, which is a usual monthly charge, and this one was for $38,551.21. An ambulance payment and our usual claims. We also did a second run of utilities last week. And I will say that on one of them, I did make a note. It was to Hudson Tool Rental on the second run, and it's not a utility, but it's for $600. That's because it was a check reissue from a claim that was previously approved.
Great.
With that, I'll just open it up to any questions.
Linda?
Well, yes, I just noticed that there's an $80 charge for facial tissues for the clerk's office, so they must be doing a lot of crying now. Oh my God.
What in the hell?
Why not? No, just good to see some 2023 things that looks like they finally came in.
Yeah.
For payment.
One that I had mentioned before of the meeting, just for it to be known, there was a charge for the Muncie Sanitary District for some vehicle repairs, but this was internal for repair of fire department vehicles.
Yes.
And actually by doing it there, we save a lot of money.
Yeah, and they've got the facilities there at the new garage and be able to accommodate the fire trucks, et cetera.
Great. Okay. I have no other questions. Do we have a motion to approve the claims as presented?
I move approval of the claims for $615,748.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. Any comments or questions? Okay. Having none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you, Craig.
Thank you.
We
right.
have an update from community development for some quotes for
So, recommendation for award a bid of Muncie Crisis Center. Adam Leach, city engineer, recalled last week the bids were opened and read aloud from the Muncie Crisis Center. He and the architect for the project went through the bids and compiled a bid tab for everyone. The lowest responsive bid was Frederick's, who were also qualified. Their base bid was $625,000, $625,330. Alternative 1 was for $42,122, and alternative 2 was for $21,500. Okay. They were the ones that got the bid. Okay. The total contract award would be for a grand total of $688,952. One of the things that were not included in that whole ordeal was the old nasty flooring. Okay. Keep in mind that that was a bar. Okay. That place was a bar. It was a bar that had been around since the 50s. Okay. Here's what it looked like back when this was going to be the crisis center and it was going to be solve all of Ridenour's problems. Okay. Then they ended up tearing this bar down, and they decided that they would just be able, they would be able to get by using the footer. Now, I am not a construction expert. I am not somebody that knows anything about construction. I don't claim to know anything about construction. That's not my area of expertise. Audie Barber, on the other hand, knows a thing or three about construction. What he doesn't know about construction, and where, because he's not a contractor, he doesn't do that. He has worked for folks like that. His brother is a contractor. What he does not know, he can get information on really easily. And in this situation, he said, you guys are going to need to deal with that concrete slab. You're not going to be able to do what you're thinking or acting or act like you're going to be able to do. It's just, that's not going to be able to happen. There's just no way that that is going to work. So we've pushed it. We asked, we questioned, and I'm telling you, it was like they just decided that they were not going to listen to us. Well, let me see here, because I know that back since my grandmother had her operation, I know that my grandfather and I stopped over by there one day, and I took some pictures. Give me a second here, and let me look, because I know I know we stopped over there. Okay, here's the 5th. It would have been after that. And I might have already shown it on this channel for another thing, and then I might have thrown it away. Let me look.
You did show it at one point. I think you had like 3 or 4 pictures you had taken that you put up and shared.
Oh, yep, I've got it right here. I'm gonna send you something, Kate. Can you put that up in the thing?
Sure.
Okay, I just sent it to you there. That is a perfect picture. Because while she does that, I'm also going to go to Audie Barber's page, and I'm going to look in Audie Barber's pictures, because while I took that picture, I know that Audie also...
And it's up.
Okay, thank you very much. Let me Before we go there, let me do this. Audi. Right around February 6th. Man, Audi's like I am. Okay, well, so they tore down, they tore the place down, and this is the picture that I took. I took this back on like February, around the February 14th. Okay. Yeah. Oh no, the 24th, February 24th. As you can see here from this picture, the area inside all of this right here, okay, all of that area right inside there, that was all gravel at the time. Okay, it used to be concrete floor. They had busted it all up and hauled it all away. And Audie and I said, ooh, that's going to cost some money. And then now they've poured it and there's a floor there. Now, since they've done that, there is all kinds of neat. This is what it looked like just a few days ago. Okay, this is just a few short days ago. All right. So, listen, the $688,000 is just the contract that Frederick's got. There's a whole hell of a lot of other money that has been paid out to this. Okay. If you, I mean, they will keep them for less than 24 hours and refer them to where, from my understanding, the few rehabs are full and or super expensive. Well, that's a whole other thing that I have not even began to look at, because in my opinion, we've got a whole other problem to get there. Okay. So the grand total on this thing, before we look at the 688, they have paid $299,283.38 outside of the bidded contract $688,952. So if you take the 299,283,
I do believe there was another 10,000 that needed added to that, Christopher. So it's 309.
Yeah, I think that you're right on that. Okay. 5, 3, 8, 9. Okay, so that is $998,235. And I'm sure there are other charges of $1,000 here, $2,000 to BMH. We're going to have to go back through the claims for the last 3 months and retally all of that up. Because I have here, ladies and gentlemen, okay, a whole list of all of everything that you see here. Every line, every colored line, ladies and gentlemen, is an additional dollar amount that has been paid on this crisis deal. All right. So when the Ridenour administration is saying, oh, it only costs $688,000, bullcrap. It took $688,000 plus the additional $300,000 plus today. Here's the thing. Now, I'm not saying I don't know what this is. Okay? If you listen to the Board of Works today, Craig Wright.
For work being done on that. We did have $64,424.50 for.
All right. How much, Craig?
Just a couple things to make note on of the email I had sent out yesterday. We did have $64,424.50 to Fredericks for the Crisis Center on the work being done on that.
You can see it in the claim right here. Fredericks, City of Muncie, Crisis Center, paid by check 263992 for vendor number 78777, Fredericks Inc. Okay, paid out. It was okayed today, and it will be paid out on the 15th for $64,424.50. Okay. Look, it wasn't just me. I didn't have that question alone. It wasn't big, bad, mean Christopher Bilbrey. Look, it's kind of hard for you guys to see, but here's the comment. Here's the comments. You got citizen Jackie McCord says, reference the Crisis Center claim. What expenses were covered in this claim? I said, Jackie, I'll be discussing this tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern. Plug, plug, plug. Jackie. And I also tagged the City of Muncie and Michelle Owen. Can anyone tell us what this $64,424.50 was for? City of Muncie says, yes. The $64,424 was paid to Fredericks Construction for the work they have completed thus far. You can drive by and see how much progress has happened. Now, wait a minute.
But a lot of that work is outside the scope of the bid.
You got to be shitting me. Yeah, right. Like, for real. Are they telling us that all of that work we see there, all of that has only cost $64,000? Bullshit. So
we don't. Come on.
The slab is going to be more than that.
No kidding.
The material
and
for
the
it.
slab wasn't in the contract.
Right.
So my question here, do we have a situation where they're going to have said, well, we're just paying a little as we go, which is a very good possibility. We're just paying a little as we go, a little. Okay, if that's the case, have they made any other payments along the way? Is this their first payment? I don't believe they're doing that. You know, what, they didn't pay him 50% of the contract down so they could get equipment. This doesn't make sense, all right? We know that they're getting $688,000 for the work. My question is, was a change order put forward? What I don't want to happen is I don't want this $64,000 to be slid in under the radar. I think that Michelle or whoever answered on the city's behalf, because sometimes it's Michelle and sometimes it's Shireen and sometimes it's God knows who. I don't want them to just have answered a question and it be a bullshit answer. All right. Because it wasn't just me and it wasn't just Jackie. Alva's on there, 64,000. I'm guessing that probably is busting up the old concrete and pouring new concrete, which I'm sure they would have took before the board and okayed all that. I'm sure everything is fine. I love Alva. Here's the thing. I just want them to be upfront with what this is. So instead of being able to ask, and instead of being able to call or to email the controller or email the communications director, I have to now fill out a records request. And I have to give them the check number. And I have to give them the vendor number. And I have to give them the amount. And I have to say, can you tell me what that is in an itemized list, and they're either going to have it or they're not going to have it. But all I'm saying is, okay, I don't agree with them paying $688,000 for that building. I don't think they should have done it there. I think that the problem is they could have done this for a lot less money than what they've done. Is there another situation like that? Is there some other situation currently that we're dealing with that for some unknown reason the mayor of Muncie is wanting to do for just an extraordinarily large amount of money that makes no sense to literally anybody? It doesn't make sense to 5-year-olds, probably wouldn't understand this. Like literally, somebody out there in YouTube world, ask the smallest child you know. If you can get 2 buildings for $9,000, or you can get 1 building for $9,000, ask them, or $9 million, if you can get 2 cookies for nine hugs, or you can get 1 cookie for 9 hugs, which is better? Obviously, getting 2 cookies for 9 hugs. We could literally go with someone cheaper in the fire department sector and go through the bid process, and we could build 2 fire departments for the price of what he's wanting to build this for. But oh no. So I'm going to find out what this $64,000 is for. And look, maybe the person who answered me on the City of Muncie's page is perfectly right. Maybe they're just paying them a little as they go, and maybe that's all they've got paid for. Maybe that's true. Maybe that's part of the $68,000. But I'm going to tell you, we're either paying for that concrete now, or we're paying for it on the back end. But my friends, we are paying for that concrete at some point. And the issue is, no one has approved that concrete. That's the problem. So we're going to be looking at that. Now, real quick, before we move. Yep.
Dan approved that. Niles pointed that out, and he makes a very good point. Dan approved that. So it's fine, and I'm sure it's all fine.
I'm sure it's fine. Yes. Thank you to Niles' point. Niles is 1,000% correct, and I stand corrected. It was approved by Mr. Dan, and I'm sad I didn't have a picture of Dan. I thought I made a little picture of Dan, but right there he is, next to the Traveler's S, and next to his bestest friend in the world, Dale Basham. So there's Dan. Unfortunately, I didn't have a picture of him solo here, but he is right. Dan approved it, and who am I to question that? Hey, it's just like what Dan's doing with this fire department. It's just like he's doing with this fire department, folks. Citizens have still yet to have our meeting talking about the questions and getting answers on this public works committee meeting that we're supposed to be having on. Hell, we've been waiting for that since October, and we still have yet to hear when that meeting's going to be held. They just told us the other day it's going to be held, and I know I now have those members of the committee. If it's going to be the Public Works Committee, the chair will be Harold Mason and Brandon Garrett and Dale Basham. Or if it's there's another committee it could be, and I forget what the name of the committee is, but if that case, it would be, the chair would be Jerry Dishman, Jeff Green, and Harold Mason. So either way, that's who will be leading up whatever committee that we may or may not have. I think we need to have it because everyone and their brother, including Rose Selvey, has been saying that we're going to have that damn meeting, and I want to have it, and I want it to be live streamed, and I want it to be for real. So I don't know what's going on, but I'm really pissed off about that. Watch the 9
Charlize is
million.
asking an interesting question, kind of.
What? Charlize?
Yeah.
Watch the
The
9
screen.
million for this fire station become a prototype for all others. 9 million times how many stations? 1, 2s, 3s, 4s, 5, 6, 7. We have 7. We currently have 7. I think we have 7. They say we need 8. So we need to rebuild everything plus put another one up. But I think we currently have 7 stations. So 9. Yeah. 9 times 7 plus another, for good measure. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's $72 million. See what I just did there? 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. $72 million there, Charlize. You could have done a math trick like that. So I don't know. And let me tell you, also before we get off Muncie, the other thing that's really burning my ass. Here it is, March. And I don't have a standalone of these guys, but I'm going to put them up here. I have yet to hear back from Jeff Green, District 1 counselor. I have yet to hear back from Brandon Garrett, District 3 counselor. I have yet to hear back from District 5 counselor and the president of the council, Jerry Dishman. And I have yet to hear back from Dale Basham. I have emailed these 4 men, a total of at least 3 times now. And I have never heard a word back from any of these 3 men. That is unheard of, uncalled for. It is inappropriate. It is disgusting. And I am pissed off about it. And I'm telling you, I'm coming and hell is following, man. We are not going to have a good meeting come April Fool's Day in Muncie. I'm just letting you know. I'm letting you know. Everyone can go ahead and pre-warn Jeff Green and Brandon Garrett and Jerry Dishman and Dale Basham. I'm not buying at 3 months in. 3 of the 4 of you have been counselors prior to this. One of those 4 men have been a counselor for the last 200 years. I am not buying. My email doesn't work. Everything goes to spam box. If you cannot check an email, you cannot read an email, and if you cannot fire back an email to a citizen, to a constituent, to a pain in the ass like myself, that you know is going to be a pain in the ass, if you can't pick up the email and figure it out or be smart enough to have someone help you or be your ghostwriter, then you need to resign from the Muncie City Council tomorrow. Tomorrow. I cannot help it. If we have council members that in 2024 cannot figure out an email, then you've no damn business sitting on the council. Period. Okay. Now, moving on to Winchester. Oh, man. Winchester. What do we got going on in Winchester? Don't go anywhere, people, because just because you might not be from Muncie, this is definitely some weird shit that you probably want to hear and like to hear. First of all, I want to say, and I've got to say, that it's weird. I knew we would be here. I don't know anybody that thought differently, other than a couple of idiots, and it blows my mind. Miss Lisa, oh, sorry, I should have put up a warning on the screen. I am so sorry. I hope you all didn't have children watching right then. I am so sorry. Let me take that down. Oh my God. I will put up a warning next time, or I will tell you ahead of time, hey, I'm getting ready to put Lisa up on the screen. Take cover. Who would have thought in a million years, come March, I would be talking to you about the fact that Counselor Lisa Friend has not attended a council meeting since before the end of the year. She's not attended a council meeting in January. She has not attended a council meeting in February, and she has so far not attended a council meeting this month. Now, next week will be the council meeting. And if she is not there, what is Monday? I don't think I have anything else. I think that I believe I will try to get to the Winchester meeting, because I am going to ask at-large Counselor Bruchin what he intends to do about Miss Teal. He said when he won, he said in a hallway with lots of people listening that he intended to try and do something, removing her from the council removing her because it was uncalled for, yada, 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 something to that effect. Well, now, Mr. Bruchin, Counselor Bruchin, it's time to shut up, put up or shut up. Or better yet, put up and shut up. That would be the best. Put up, shut up. Kick her off and then resign. That would be even better. Sick. Makes me mad. She has not attended. She has not attended a meeting. Oh, Cindy, you and listen, you don't even know the half of it, I don't think, because you've just started watching here recently. She lived in Montana, or maybe still does. She moved to Montana last March. She moved out of Indiana and has been a sitting council person in Indiana since. I cannot believe it. So look, Alva said it, I think. Let me see what Alva said here, because what Alva said is pretty important. The residents of her district in Winchester knew what she was, and they elected her anyways. They get what they wish for. Yeah. Look, I agree with you, Alva. Like, I don't care. The only reason I care is because I just can't stand. I cannot stand for evil to win. But as far as I'm concerned, they get what they get. I hope she's somehow siphoning money off. I hope they're robbing the town blind. If it wasn't for a few people that live there, I would be like, burn it down. But, Kate and people live there, so I can't be too mean. She used to attend the meetings. She used to go and then all of a sudden she decided, hey, wait, this is Winchester. I don't need to go. I don't need to be here. Ain't nobody going to do anything to me. I can still win. She makes it really hard. She makes it really hard to be nice. I'll tell you that much. She needs to fix her hair. She needs to fix a whole lot. I'll tell you, her hair is some of it. Yeah, it's true. Some of it needs to be fixed. Ugh. God, I gotta delete that picture. I can't even look at it anymore. All right, next. Hey, if you're gonna do the slime, you gotta do the time. If you gotta do the crime, question is, will you do the time or will you get something that, takes care of you? Will you brush this under the rug? Will no one care? Let me tell you, and it's not like this is something that's like, oh my gosh, no way. What? Really? He's got a drinking problem? Because let me tell you, it was just within the last 4 or 5 months that he attended a council meeting and a citizen there made a stink because he was in the meeting like talking and rocking, and he kept getting up and going to the bathroom, and he kept like sniffing, and his nose was running, and he was red, and he smelled like alcohol, and his eyes were bloodshot. Listen, there's something that would happen back in my old police days. When someone first becomes a police officer and they're writing an OWI report, the first thing they do is they'll say, I walked up to the car and I smelled alcohol. Well, no, you can't say that. It's all alleged, So your report says, I walked up to the car and upon talking to the occupant, producer Kate, I noticed that she was fumbling around for her driver's license, and when I asked for her driver's license, she didn't give me her driver's license. She gave me her husband's military ID. That happens all the time. I'm making Kate the drunk. But and when she looked at me, her
the
eyes
sad
were
thing is
glassy.
that I've been pulled over and cold stone sober have handed the cop my military ID. Look, I got a new one. Isn't it pretty and shiny?
Yeah, right. Oh, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. And then I noticed through talking to her the odor of what appeared to be an alcoholic beverage. That's what I would always write. What you'd always put. You couldn't say immediately it was alcohol, because maybe it was someone having a diabetic. They were going into diabetic ketoacidosis, and so they were emitting a fruity alcohol type smell. So you can't just there's lots of reasons why that would happen. So this person was like, hey, yeah, this person is like emitting an alcoholic smell coming from his person. And the police, and they all talked and caused a big stink. And the street superintendent said, hey, I'm off the clock. If I want to leave work and I want to go have me some beers and drink and it reminds me of that old show of the guy who's like, I used to have a problem, but I got clean. Well, I got clean, but I might have me a couple beers on, after work on a Friday, and I don't do anything other than that. But maybe I have a couple beers, and then I might have a couple shots of tequila. But I don't do anything else other than that. And well, if I'm having a shot of tequila, well, now I might smoke a little bit of grass, but I don't do anything other than drink the beer and take the shot of tequila and drink the grass. Well, unless maybe then I take a couple pills It's that old joke of there's a real famous YouTube video of a comedian doing that. But that's kind of like what goes on. And it's not just the street superintendent. Okay? It's not just the street superintendent. It's the street superintendent. And it's allegedly, quite possibly, the mayor. And maybe, quite possibly, allegedly, hypothetically speaking, the mayor's attorney. Okay? And that's what they do. They go and they try to pour down as many drinks down the gullet as they can and rush back to the meeting. Now, there have been some meetings before, man, where I didn't think Meeks was going to make it. Sheen has had a stench of alcohol that made Niles sick. Yes, Kate, I've been there. And yeah, absolutely. Because he smells so bad coming off of him. And it's like that smell of like the alcohol coming through the skin and the sweat smell and all of that together. That is,
Niles said
makes
something
you
that
putrid.
the smell coming off of Sheen reminded him of his early days in the Army, where it was a thing where you would drink until 4 o'clock in the morning, or the single guys would drink until 4 o'clock in the morning. And then at 0600, we're doing a 2-mile run for a PT test. And the smell coming off of them as they're sweating all that alcohol out of them. That was the stench.
Well, and so the question is, has he done this in the hour between 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock, or has he been drinking all day too? You know, that's the question. We used to do that at New Venture Gear on the lunch breaks. But again, you're just standing in one place doing the thing. You know, Sheen's driving around in a company, in a city paid vehicle. So it wasn't even the sheriff's department that pulled him over. Apparently, from what I'm hearing, it was a Winchester City police officer that stopped him. So I'm sure that shit about hit the fan. And I'm going to tell you right now, if there are any police officers in Winchester or Randolph County listening to this, and you are capable of making a traffic stop for a valid reason on Bobby McCoy or Meeksy Cockrell after 5 p.m., don't just say, okay, well, take care. Ask them some questions and ask them to perform stupid human tricks. Because I guarantee you could probably make you a little DUI arrest. Okay? So, allegedly, I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyways, I'm just saying things. I don't even know who I'm talking about. But that's a problem, man. It's a problem. It's a problem, them being able to think that they can do things and get away with it, and that it doesn't matter because it's a small town and they run the town. Screw that. Screw that. I don't think the mayor can step in with so many rumors flying around town regarding him and Lewis. Absolutely. That's a problem. That's absolutely. There's so much craziness going on in Winchester. And look, because it's not just this. It's also this. It's this, and it's all the rest of them, man. Like they are having so many sexual offender arrests in Winchester right now, and in Randolph County. It's like it's becoming like I'm immune to it. I'm like, oh, there was another person arrested for molesting kids. Oh, there's another molester. Well, there's another molester. And just one more molester for the pile. Like Henry County's talking about needing to build a whole new pod. Winchester, Randolph County, they're going to need to build 3 more jails just to hold all of the sexual offenders that they've got going on. Something is going on. My question is, are the police in other communities just not arresting that many? Randolph County's police just that good? Is it, what is going on that it's this big of a it's like an epidemic? Oh, I don't mean immune to child molesters. I just mean immune to hearing it. No. Yeah, I don't no. I don't mean that at it. Nope. Not to my knowledge. I haven't heard him say a damn thing. I would like to know, what does Bob have to say about Lewis Galligan? What does he have to say about this? Are the police any closer to catching Lewis? There is a kid, someone's son, nephew, grandchild, brother that is now dead because of this shit with Lewis. A young man took his life over what Lewis did and what Lewis continued doing. Where we need to be, I want to be hearing from the sheriff's department every week. I want to hear an update on what they're doing. I would like to hear from Bob McCoy on what his thoughts were on this. I'm going to the council meeting on Wednesday or on Monday. I might just have to ask him.
Looks like Joni might be asking too.
Maybe we'll find out at the city council meeting Monday. Joan, all right, I'll go. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. How did I hear about this? Just because Winchester's a small community. Winchester is a small community. And everybody's related to everybody. I hear Lewis's mom is getting ready to run. Well, I hope she does. I hope she does. And if she does, I hope she runs right to him. And I hope she leads them straight to him. That would be fantastic. I couldn't think of anything better than that. I could not think of anything better than that. Now, Darla says Muncie doesn't arrest them. Now, to be fair, I want you to know, a lot of these arrests in Winchester are not coming from the predator catcher groups. They have done a couple over there, but the majority of the arrests are coming just straight from the police. I think what Darla is alluding to here is the fact that in Randolph County, the prosecutor's office will work with the predator catcher groups. And in Delaware County, the prosecutor will not work with the predator catcher groups. It's their prerogative. It goes back both ways. I'll tell you, I am really split on this. I'm really split on the predator catcher things. I know what they do is a good thing. I know that a lot of them have the pure intentions and have good intentions. I know of plenty that don't have good intentions. I know of plenty that just like the clicks and views type aspect. They like the fame of it, and some of them do things that are questionable. And I'm not talking about any of the PCI, PCM, PCA. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about other groups. There was a situation in Randolph County not too long ago in which a group, I don't know what group it was, but a group like that was involved in some kind of process, and it turned into a high-speed pursuit, which the group was somehow involved with, and it turned into a wreck where the person was killed. And there's just a lot of liability that goes into it. Again, my biggest thing is just making sure that people are safe and making sure that if something's going to happen and you're going to go through the process of doing something, that it's not tainting evidence or it's not messing a prosecution up, that a prosecution can be made, that innocent people aren't getting hurt or in harm's way. Because look, when a police officer makes a traffic stop, period, a police officer pulls a car over, a police officer goes to a domestic battery situation, if a police officer walks up to someone on the street, if a police officer is responding to a fight or a drug deal or whatever they're going to, that situation in and of itself is a dangerous situation. Anytime you are approaching an unknown person doing a criminal act, you are entering a volatile situation. If I am doing crime and it's a crime where we have to meet a drug deal, an adult sex worker case, you know what I mean? Where you've got a person of age, a 30-year-old meeting a 30-year-old girl, woman, two men meeting, two women meeting, whatever the situation is. Those situations can be dangerous. So there's a lot of danger that goes into it. And that's just my aspect. And I know a lot of because it's not just the prosecutor's office here. As prosecutors all throughout the country are torn on this. Some of them are very supportive and some of them are not for various reasons. And I can see both sides of that. Let's see. Luce won the Heart of the City Award for selflessness and generosity in Richmond. Yeah, that was really weird. That was really, really strange that happening. And he had his picture taken with David Snow, or not. I don't think it was. It might have been David Snow. Might have been the mayor down there, but it was at least a city councilor in Richmond. And I know that a lot of them were kind of in a weird spot about it and what's happened after the fact. But yeah, Kate said conspiracy theory. Did Sheen get picked up to take pressure off the mayor about the relationship with Lewis? I I would doubt that. I don't know that they would. First of all, I don't know that they would throw him to the wolves for it. But that's a weird conspiracy theory. Yeah, very well. I mean, I could see why people would think that. The thing with Lewis is with that award, I don't know that it was him so much in that it was the people around him. Lewis was a very strange kid. Lewis always wanted to be older than what he was, and he always thought that he was older than what he was. And he came from money, and he thought we talk about that psychological thought that people who, like the people who grow up in the royals, their brains are different than just other humans, or people who are police officers, their brain changes. People who wear uniforms and have a important, so to speak, job, their brain changes. The power changes your brain. I almost feel like that was something that happened to Lewis. Lewis always thought he was more important than what he was. And so he always wanted to do something. He always wanted to be around the firemen. He always wanted to be around police officers. He used to bug the piss out of Brandon Barndollar. Used to absolutely bug the piss out of Brandon Barndollar. And I'm pretty sure that Brandon is not a fan of Lewis's at all. He used to just ask questions and just constantly like want to talk to him, and was just one of those kids that always wanted to be around. I mean, like he's somebody that I could see would be in trouble for impersonating a law enforcement officer or something. He just has that type of mentality. He thinks that he's bigger and better and more important than what he is. Just very strange. The only other thing I want to say about this and about everything going on with all of this is that Josh has basically said, I am not taking a plea deal. He is going to trial. He is basically saying, I am not going to say I did this. I'm going to screw it. I'm going to say that, whatever. And so he is now taking that route, which is just absolutely disgusting. It makes me sick. And I hope that because of that, I honestly hope that they take him straight to it. And because he's going to make those kids have to actually testify, I hope he gets every possible minute that he can get out of this.
Do you know any details of the proposed plea that you can talk about, or? I
haven't. I can say what I've heard. This is not confirmed. Allegedly, I think someone had said. I had heard through a couple different people that Josh had been offered a plea of pleading to one of the highest felonies that he's charged with, which is a level 1, and pleading to one of the lowest felonies, so one on each side, and that if he would plead to one of the highest and one of the lowest, that they would dismiss all of the rest, and basically he would be looking at 30 years in prison. They would give him 30 years, and he would do 30, and then after 30 years, he would have to come out and he would register for the rest of his life as a sexual predator, a sexual offender, and that would have to be that. And that would be that. He said, nope, I'm not going to do that. I am not going to plead to a level 1 felony. And that was that. So with that, they said, okay, then we'll see you in court. And I have heard that they said that if he does not, the plea agreement was 30 years, minimum mandatory. So if he pled to the level 1 and the level 6, there was a minimum mandatory of 30 years. Not going through the plea, they said that he is looking at between 50 and 70. Now, will he do that much? Like Nicole said, he's probably not going to do that much. Can I see Josh doing 20 to 30 years? Probably. You know, I was talking to someone the other day and they said, you know, at this point, 30 years would definitely be 30 years would be basically a life sentence. So, you know, he's looking at them saying, well, you're going to get 30 or you're going to get 70. And he's going to say, well, all right, well, then I'll fight it. So that's just what Josh does. That's just what I've heard someone say that he's still actively trying to fight his cases against like the biker people and trying to get the trespass that JD was fighting him on. He's trying to defeat these. Like he's still in there trying to do his political civic duty crap. Like he thinks that is still going on. That's absolutely insane. I don't know what he's thinking about there. So that's nuts. But yeah, I don't know. Just what a whacked out situation. Okay. Has Josh tried to reach out? No, he's not tried to reach out to me. He's, to my knowledge, not tried to reach out to anyone. Since what he did right there at the beginning, there's not been anything else. I don't know. I mean, he was reaching out to his wife and doing all of that thing and wildly going out of his way to harass her, to the point of basically if it was, if there are court dates, he has to attend them. Well, I mean, yeah, I as far as that goes, but the point of saying that he's actively fighting, he's actively fighting a protective order that's supposed to be a 3-year protective order. Look, I don't care what goes on. Whatever goes on, he's not going to be out of anywhere he's at in the next 3 years. So let the person have the protective order, not have the protective order. It's of no consequence. I mean, I kind of think it's stupid that anybody would be pushing that at that point. They should not be pushing it because it does nothing at this point. It's just nonsensical. But I don't know. I've got no room for Josh. I've got no room for what he did, and I don't know. I don't know. I had a teeny tiny bit of respect just because I was like, well, he turned himself in and he did the right thing, and he's not going to put those girls through any more torture, and he's going to hopefully let them go about healing. And so I was like, at least he did that. And then at the point that I found out that he's not going to do that, I'm like, I can't deal with that. Yeah. So, okay, from there, I have just one more thing that I want to talk about. Let me pull this up and see here. This is done. And this is done. Oops. Nope. I about just did the wrong thing there. Lastly, state of Indiana. This guy right here. I don't know if any of you know who this gentleman is. This is Josh is learning how to be a real jailhouse attorney. You got it. You got it. Absolutely. He's learning how to. Oh, never mind. He's learning how to do lots of things. I hope. This is none other than the Indiana Public Access Counselor, Mr. Luke Britt, and it's just amazing to me how just completely gutted his ability to do anything is going to be now that House Bill 1338 is on its way to the governor's desk. I will tell you all that he filed. I was reading Ron's post. Yeah, that motion to dismiss was ridiculous. Pause on Luke Britt. The judge in the case didn't even read his motion to dismiss because he has an attorney. They couldn't even consider it. So they stamped the outside of it and sent it on to his attorney. And then they admonished his attorney and told his attorney, tell your client to not send anything pro se through the court because he has an attorney. So I think that's kind of funny. Josh is an idiot, and he's just showing that the more he goes through this nonsense. It's a shame. All right. Anyways, back to Luke. It's so this bill today was signed. It was signed on the 11th by the leadership of the House. It was signed on the 12th by the minor leadership, the leadership of the minority of the Senate, and it was signed today by the president of the state Senate, which, in case you guys don't know, the president of the state Senate is the lieutenant governor, Suzanne Crouch. She signed it today, which, in my opinion, means that 1338 will be being signed by the governor realistically at any point. It might already be signed. If not, it'll be signed tomorrow. Or if it's not signed tomorrow or Friday, it will definitely be signed by the 1st of next week. But House Bill 1338 will be signed by the governor. And when it is, it will effectively gut Luke Britt. Luke Britt will be gutted. I called him on the phone today because Luke and I have a pretty good working relationship. We've had many conversations. He has helped me in a lot of ways. We have talked over the years, both on and off the record, and I have appreciated him and appreciated his stance. I am absolutely angry with him because of what he did with 1338. He went and he pushed for 1338. He supported it and he was there. And what did he get for all of his diligent hard work? He got shivved right in the back. Stab, 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 stab. The amendments came in and they wrecked him. So I called him up today because I'd heard he wasn't talking to people. And I was like, oh, yay, Luke, what's up? Like, not much. And I said, well, my question is, are you saying anything about your thoughts on House Bill 1338 that's getting ready to be law? And have you released anything? And he was like, nope, we're not releasing anything. We're still working on it. We're still working through it, is what he said. Quote, unquote, we're still working through it. I was like, okay, well, I just thought it was kind of odd that you supported it so fervently, that you were such a big supporter when it was being jammed through the House as quickly as possible. But for them to turn around and do this, I just wondered if you had any thoughts. And he was like, nope, I don't. And I was like, well, you know that I am not happy with this bill. I'm not happy with any part of it. but I'm certainly not happy with the part that they've stuck in there after the fact in the amendments about you. I'm not happy about that at all. So you don't have anything that you want to say about this on the record? And he said, no, sir, I do not. And I was like, well, okay then, click. But he is a man that I can tell is in his feelings. He's got himself a little hurt because he was sitting with someone that he thought was the cool kids, but it was J.D. Prescott. And so he didn't realize what a foolish mistake that was. And now, instead of owning up to it and manning up to it, he's taking the easy way out and being like, we've got no comment on this. There's no comment. I just have no respect for that. I don't understand why he won't say, no, they did me dirty. They did me wrong. This is not what's supposed to be happening. This is not appropriate. And we're going to fight this, or we're going to push back against this. Yada, yada, yada. This is unconstitutional. No matter of fact, I've been looking into this and what they're wanting to do. This bill from the front to back was an unconstitutional bill. It's bullshit what they're doing with this. And the fact that the Republicans are trying to take away another avenue for people to hold elected officials accountable, it just burns my ass. So I honestly look to see Luke Britt leaving the public access officers, the public access office in pretty short order. Honestly, if he makes it through the election, I'll be shocked. And even if he makes it through the election, I'll be shocked if whoever the new governor is keeps him. I could see them getting rid of him, but I also could see him leaving on his own because it makes no sense for him to stay around. He's being told the writing's on the wall for him. And the fact that he won't stand up and fight anymore harder for this, maybe he should take a step down. Luke, I appreciate all the hard work you put in over the years and all of the time we've had together. I hate to see you go out the way that you have been. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for us for this episode. I will talk about the Henry County baptisms tomorrow. Tomorrow is Thursday. We will be back here tomorrow night, God willing. We'll be back here at 9 p.m. Eastern, like normal. Thank you guys for tuning in. Please share the show with everyone you know. Help spread the word and get the message out there. Perception is Reality was an amazing show, and the Bastards of Politics was fantastic. But the political spotlight is where it's at. Help tell people they need to be here. And until then, you guys take care. God bless each and every one of you. We will see you tomorrow. Take care. Good night. Good night.